Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, when you dive into the spiritual journey enough, you'll come across this saying: live your life like it's your last day. Now, when you hear this idea, it can go both ways, in a negative way or a positive way. If you have understood the nature way of things enough, then you'll probably take it in a positive way. This reference inspires you to be courageous, to live life fearlessly. Or the negative sense, which makes you resist this idea. When it flows, when it comes in a negative sense, there's a resistance to this idea. This reference creates fear. This reference, live your life like it's your last day, creates emotional fluctuation, mental fluctuation. And this fluctuation shows that there is attachment in life. So it can go both ways, in a positive sense or negative sense. But this is the thing: whether you take it in a positive way or negative way, both are the egotistical approach. Negative sense is too much ego, positive sense is also ego. And spiritual freedom is about the death of the ego. Negative and positive is a duality, and to see one's true nature, or to see the plain sight truth, one must need to go beyond the duality. So neither is helpful. Now, when you take it in a positive sense, notice you try to be courageous, isn't it? Live your life like it's your last day. Now you're courageous to express yourself in the world. Now, you don't have to be courageous in the first place. You just have to be aware of how things are. And by the way, being courageous to express yourself, that expression itself is an ego. Ego likes to express. And expression is not who you are. You are the background that sees that you're trying to express. You're trying to create the egotistical move. All expression is an ego expression, because the truth of who you are is the consciousness, is the observer side of you, being being the observer, observing the things that is happening. So the freedom, the true freedom, or the truth realization, is about seeing the background that allows everything to rise and fall. So being courageous and expressing is the ego self. But the ego self don't want to hear what I'm saying right now. The ego will just resist. Yes, life is an expression. On the outside is expression, is experiencing the world, expressing yourself. with the things that you align with. But that is an outward journey in seeing the world of patterns. And that's where the ego thrives. Ego loves to be part of the world, be part of the experience, and ego loves to gain and invite experience. And that's the kingdom for the ego. That's where it thrives. That's where it feels like it is alive. It feels like the ego feels that aliveness by being part of it. So all expression is ego. Spiritual journey is not about expressing yourself. The spiritual journey or realizing the truth of oneself is about investigating why I have this urge to express. Examining this urge is the way to figure out the cause of our root cause of our expression. And once we figure out the root, we have to dismantle the root altogether until nothing is left. That's where the truth can be seen. But expressing is not the truth. It's when you express, is we say that I am being true to myself. But that is just egotistical expression. Yes, it can be a healthy expression in the world, but healthy expression is not the truth, the absolute truth. It's not who you are. All expression is not who you are. You don't need to express to be who you are. You need to step back from all the expression to see who you are. That is the observer self. That is the conscious self. That itself is a consciousness, and your true nature is consciousness. And the nature of the consciousness is conscious and empty. So, to live your life like it's your last day means to rest in who you are. To rest in who you are. Because that is the unborn and undying state. That is what makes you alive. That's the message. Live your life like it's the last day means resting in the truth. And when you rest in the truth, there's no more fear. There's no more mental and emotional fluctuation when you are that. That's true freedom. So the main message from the reference is to rest in who you are. And resting in that is the death of the ego. When you die every day, when you drop the mental fluctuation, when you drop the fear, that is the death of the ego. Every day is being alive when you can rest in who you are. Now, if this reference creates fear in your life, fluctuation, mental and emotional fluctuation starts to resurface, then again it indicates that you have got too much ego. Too much ego means too much attachment to life. You're trying to make things permanent when things are not permanent at all. Everything is shifting, changing, and you're trying to hold on to the stuff and trying to make it permanent, make it real. And that is against the nature way of things. And because of that, life is suffering, life is dreadful, life is challenging, life is pain. And if you keep going like that, eventually you'll break yourself. So only good thing when you experience the mental fluctuation and fear from this reference is realizing the fear. But once you see the fear, then if you want to figure out the truth of who you are, if you want to be free from your inner conflict, if you want to be free from your struggle, pain, fear in your life, then you must examine your fear. Why am I experiencing fear from this reference? Then if you examine, then you can understand the nature of the mind, how the mind come into existence and how the mind becomes real, and how you are the mind right now. Examining will help you to see that. So examining is this: you see the fear. Now ask yourself, why do I have the fear in my life? That why is going to help you provide the reason. And whatever reason comes in, you use the reasoning to create the inward journey. You trace it back, why those reasonings are there. So if you trace it back, your fear backward, why the fear is there in the first place, then you can figure out the root. Once you figure out the root, again, you got to dismantle the root altogether until nothing is left, until no mind is left. This is the way to die in the ego. The ultimate death is simply when you see the truth of who you are, or the plain sight truth. And to die in the ego is through examining the mind. It's not resisting or controlling the mind. So live your life like it's your last day. Means to rest in who you are, which is conscious and empty. When you are rested in that, when you are that, you are the observer. You're observing and you're connecting, and you can have fun in the world. But you're not able to rest in who you are the mind. Mind is the illusion. And when you are anchored in the illusion, what you want to do, what you are doing, is controlling, resisting, or running away. These are the attitude is there. If you don't believe these are the three attitudes, reflect in your own life. Right now, you're controlling, you're resisting, running away, isn't it? If you pause and ask yourself, you'll see this three attitude. This attitude shows that the truth is missing. You are anchored in the false. When you anchor in the false and you prolong life from the false never ends. You're actually prolonging the false and denying the truth, and that's why the suffering never ceased. So suffering never dissolves. So only way, the spiritual journey is about ending the suffering, To end the suffering, you have to examine the mind. Mind is the source of struggle, and you have to examine the mind. Examining the mind is the way to go to know mind, and when you are thorough, then then you are able to see the truth. And only by seeing the truth, then there's a natural letting go happens. The ultimate letting go happens by seeing the truth. Okay. Okay, that's all in this video. Hope this video makes sense. Live your life like it's your last day. It's an unnecessary reference, at least for me. What is needed to live life in a non-conflicting manner or fearlessly is by examining one's own fear, examining one's own conflict. Examining the conflict and fear is the way to dissolve them. Not moving with the spiritual mumbo jumbo reference. Live your life like it's your last day is not the reference that you need. Be straight, be direct, to look into your own issue and examine the issue. That's a simple and straightforward path to freedom. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying the backward movement. Keep going. If you do the work, you will not fail. You will not fail yourself to see the truth. Okay, take care for now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.